Ladies and check, check, check. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, you can go ahead. Dr. Batra is here. Anyone in the hall have any question? Please go ahead.
Yes, please. To me, yes. I don't know whether to people at the back.
Dr. Bhaskar, that was a very inspirational journey of yours, from Mauritius to Dubai to London. Two questions. Just eager to know what's the name of your flat in London, because you said the name of not there. That's just an anecdotal question. B, you said that red tapeism is everywhere. Sorry. Hello, check. Okay, the second question I would like to ask you is, you said about red tapeism, that's there everywhere, you said. But what I would like to know is that there are certain regulations which are put for the interest of the end customer. Like for example, medical. There are certain processes which the countries put to ensure that, there's for the safety of the customers. However, there's other sets of process which is inherently put to take the time to a longer space. I mean, that's red tapeism. So when you said red tapeism is everywhere, is it the regulations are unwindly longer in these countries, or is it that the required regulations are put but it takes time?
Sure, wonderful questions.
Yep.
My answer to your first question is that we actually found a way. What we did is we registered our brand internationally as Dr. Batra's. And since it has a logo, which you see over here, we can actually use it. But if we advertise, then we still cannot say Dr. Batra in the copy. We have to say Mr. Batra. So at least we got the brand registered internationally, and we can actually now use that brand in UK and everywhere else. So like I said, Indians always find a way, and we managed to do it. It took us almost a year to get it done, but that's the answer. The second thing is your answer to the question that whether it's the process, it takes time, or whether it's a red tapeism. I think the answer really is, when I'm talking about red tapeism, I'm not talking about processes. I'm talking about it taking time because of the multiple levels it goes through. For example, Dubai Healthcare City has very, very difficult rules. The architectural plan has to go to Boston for approval. And, small things like you can't have sharp edges in the clinic. It has to be, curved, because nobody should hurt themselves. You have to have wheelchair access. Part of your waiting room has got to be only meant for wheelchair people. You have to have a separate room for medical records, which we don't keep in India. You have to keep physical medical records. Plus, like I mentioned in my presentation, that the IT there is so strong that they do not allow us to fiddle with any IT, records, medical records. And again, why? Because then the consumer is protected, because we cannot bring it back to India and fiddle with it. So once you enter a case history of a patient or a drug, it's just there forever. Similarly, we also are not allowed to prescribe ourselves. You have to give the prescription to the patient, and the patient goes to the Royal Pharmacy to buy the medicine. So he has a right to know what prescription he has. Having said that, one of our fastest licenses that we had was actually in Dubai. I never went there except once just to shake hands with them. We did everything through email. They were so process driven, and I mean, we got there again because they follow Harvard medical processes, and that's what we follow here as well. And so it was very easy for us to actually get everything done in the first attempt. Even doctors, they actually have to pass one exam from the Ministry of Health and one exam from the Dubai Healthcare City, and that's the MD level exam. And it's not very easy, and they give you only 3 attempts to pass. But because of the kind of quality education and the CME that we have, continued medical education in our company, all our doctors have passed in the first attempt. So it actually was very easy in that sense. Having said that, when you went to Mauritius, so many questions are asked. You have to go from one department to the other. You have to actually carry a file from one place to the other, like what we think happens in India. And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, that's really what takes time. So I hope that answers your question. Yes, Vijay.
The mic here?
Yeah.
Yeah, the question is, homeopathy medicine's origin, I think, if I'm not wrong, is Germany.
That's right.
Is it widely accepted as an alternate medicine all over Europe? Which are the countries which do not accept homeopathy as an alternative medicine? It's important to know that because, for example, why would Mauritius say no to homeopathy? Does America say yes? Does South America say yes? Maybe some light can be thrown on that.
Very interesting question. I'd like to just give a little background. You know, homeopathy was found by a German doctor, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, who was an MD from Leipzig University. But what happened was, when he founded the system of medicine, which was at that time painless and, you know, against the crude methods that were used, like, you know, bloodletting and venesection at that time, largest country in the world for homeopathy. The world's largest pharmaceutical company in homeopathy also comes from France. Every allopathic pharmacy in France has a homeopathic division. 60% of all GPs prescribe and recommend homeopathy to their patients. That's how popular it is. And this goes also in the villages of France, not just in the bigger cities. Germany and UK are again very large. In UK, as you know, it has the Queen's patronage. It has, and even something which India hasn't done. In India, it's not under ESIS, but for the last many, many years, more than 15 years, homeopathy is in the National Health Scheme, which means that the government pays for treatment if you go to a recognized clinic. The government actually spends 14 million US pounds every year on homeopathic treatment in UK. In America, it's growing very, very fast, and it is recognized. As a matter of fact, I would say all over the world, in the last 5 years, homeopathy is growing back to back 20% to 30%, which means it's 100% growth in the last 5 years. And this is actually, according to World Health Organization, it is the second largest system of medicine in the world. So it actually beats Ayurveda, beats Chinese medicine or anything else. There are 86 countries where homeopathy is actually recognized today, officially in the world. And the countries where it's not recognized is basically just lack of awareness, nothing else. It's just that nobody's actually been there. I mean, you know, you really haven't put your flag there and said this is, it's very surprising that Mauritius, being a French-speaking company and earlier a Dutch colony, it's also very popular in Holland, you know, had no idea about homeopathy until we actually went there in 1996. So it's just lack of awareness, that's all. Because, you know, you would expect that at least being part Indians from Bihar and part, you know, French, at least they would know a lot about homeopathy. But there was no legislation in favor of homeopathy until we made it happen. Similarly, in Gulf countries, there was this whole thing about alcohol because it's against Muslim religion. But then Oman started it, then Dubai started it, now of course it'll go everywhere else as well. So I think today it's largely available in every part of the world today. And it's also growing, it's also legal in Singapore, Malaysia, everywhere else. Yes, there are 5 international pharmacopoeias which are recognized. One of them is in the Indian pharmacopoeia, one is a German pharmacopoeia, then the UK, American pharmacopoeia. So every country has its pharmacopoeia, but they are also internationally recognized. So when you manufacture medicines or when you market them, you have to manufacture and market them according to the pharmacopoeic procedures which are laid down. All right, thank you very much. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you.
Once again, I would request you to stay back here for a moment. I would request Mr. Satya Brahma to please come on the stage to give a small memento and thank Dr. Mukesh Batra. Thank you so much for coming till here and giving that wonderful presentation.
Presentation. Nice to have you over here now.
Can we have the memento, please?
So you are staying tonight or you are going back? You are staying tonight. Very good. Okay. Oh, these are okay.
Let's thank Dr. Mukesh Batra with a big round of applause. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for coming and giving this wonderful presentation. Thanks once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Please come, sir.
Moving forward, calling him a legend may sound too terminal, perhaps ripe to all co-privilege industry from familiarizing themselves with his characteristics, charm, energy, passion, and enthusiasm to move paradigm. A man whose state moved him to giant in global alcohol beverage industry, a leader, a teacher, a critic, a follower of only one mantra. Give it your best and result will follow. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about none other than Mr. Vijay K. Rekki, the Chairman, Executive Committee, United Spirit, completes almost 4 decades with the UB Group this year, chronicling its global leadership and success story. Put your hands together and welcome Mr. Vijay K. Rekki, Chairman, Executive Committee, United Spirit, UB Group, for the talking on the topic, Challenges and Opportunities of Indian alcohol beverage industry. Once again, welcome Mr. Vijay K. with a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. That was only to say that I have worked for the UB Group literally for more than half of my age. This today is an iconic building in Bangalore, which is standing on UB's brewery estate, which used to be in the heart of city. We have UB City and we have UB Towers, where we work from. I thought I'll start by thanking Dr. Batra for laying the tenor of presentations. Alcohol is a very intoxicating subject, but this is afternoon, and I hope by my mere talking about alcohol, you people remain sober and don't sort of start to swing. Not knowing really the composition of the audience, I thought it'll be a good idea for me to walk you through different aspects of beverage alcohol, and I will go chapter by chapter so that you can make some sense of what this complex, very interesting subject is for the consumers and the state, as well as the World Health Organization, which is concerned about the harmful effects of beverage alcohol. And I may as well preface, you can have harmful effects even if you drink too much of water. You can have harmful effects even if you take too much of chocolate and whatever else. But that's a separate subject. The topic which we agreed with the organizers was challenges and opportunities for beverage alcohol, Indian alcohol beverage industry. And in my capacity as the current chairman of executive committee, I thought I could share a lot of insights with you. Hopefully, you will become experts about the industry after I have finished, because this sort of inciting doesn't come free, but in your case, you can have the benefit of 40 years of inciting. Let me give you a genesis. In India, consumption of alcohol is an age-old practice. A Hindu would know possibly that some of the deities would actually enjoy alcohol. Somras is a well-known beverage, grape-based, I think, and was associated with the Mughal kings. They used to enjoy their wine along with the pleasures of life they used to have. You can see them in all the Mughal miniature paintings. They have a glass or a goblet in hand. Then, of course, came the English, and they brought their alcohol onto the shores of India, hard spirits and beer. After independence, and due to the influence of the father of nation, India actually wanted to declare itself to be a dry country. But I am sure there were good reasons why that was not agreed upon. But the Constitution states very clearly, the state will endeavor to enforce prohibition. So we are in the endeavoring stage, but you will see how that endeavor is really not able to fructify, notwithstanding one of our prime ministers, Morarji Desai, in 1977, having declared the entire country dry, but it did not succeed. The industry is licensed, it's highly regulated, like anywhere else in the world, nothing unique about it. Storage, transportation, consumption, retail outlets, everything is controlled by the state. Notwithstanding all of this, the background, the industry has grown exponentially since 1947, that is the independence. The CAGR of the industry growth has been varying between 12 to 15%, and for the last 5 years, or 9 years, sorry, it's been around 15% or so. Changing lifestyles, exposure to Western culture are obviously two reasons why the growth is getting fueled. Today, the industry grosses at the retail level 78,000 crores, and net of duties, that is excise duties and all that, around 35,000 crores. You must all be familiar. What is the product range? Broadly, there are 3 categories or 4 categories if you would like to give liqueurs out of it. But liqueurs are also spirit-based, so I have just classified them for ease of understanding. Spirits has got whiskey, brandy, gin, rum, and what have you, vodka, ready-to drinks. Beers are in 2 categories, 2 baskets, mild and strong, is sort of nomenclatured by the amount of alcohol in the liquid. And wines are by color, that's red, rosé, which is in between white and red, and of course white and sparkling. Sparkling, you can have white clear sparkling as in champagne. You can also have red sparkling wine. This is the background with regard to the industry in terms of how it started and where, how it has been growing. I will walk you through the features of the beverage alcohol industry in our country. It is a state-controlled subject, which means 28 states and 7 union territory are the bosses individually. There's an excise minister, there's an excise commissioner, and a host of advisors, inspectors, and what have you. So we have to deal with literally 32 countries in our own country to be able to do any business. No wonder this is not a unique sort of a setup. Even in America, there are 52 states and the regulations are separate. But in some of the European countries, for example in the UK, it's a federal subject. The center makes the policy, and the 4 states or sort of the divisions in the UK, Wales, Scotland, England, and whatever is the 4th one, they all follow one law. It is a major source of revenue for each of the state governments after probably the sales tax, 44,000 crores in levies. And don't be surprised when I say to you that state is also a trader, it's a wholesaler and a retailer, and they make another 8,000 crores in trade margins. there's a host of taxes. At one time I did a count. In all these 32 entities of different states, there were about 119 to 120 types of taxes which the industry suffered. So just imagine the intellectual capital we have in our own mind that we have to deal with 32 states, 32 types of regulations, where nearly 120 type of taxes. There's excise duty, franchise duty, bottling duty, export pass fee, transport fees, adhesive label, hologram. I mean, you name it and it's there. So there's a host of taxes, so it's complex from that point of view. The market size is huge as well. Organized sector and different components in that. 270 million cases of spirits. The civilian market has 257, and the canteen stores department, the army market is nearly 13 million cases. 260 million cases of beers. Wine is fledgling. It's only 1.5 million cases, but will grow, is expected to grow. And then, of course, we have what is known as bevada, or country liquor, which is nearly 200 million cases. So that is the size of the market. For IMFL type of spirits alone, the share of the cake, share of the pie, is 13% for India if you were to take the global beverage alcohol consumption, and that's huge. But that's just to put matters in perspective. Per capita basis, we are tiny, we are small. Lowest per capita consumption of beverage alcohol in country. As far as spirits are concerned, less than 1 liter per capita per year. Beer, 1.5 liters. Wines, 10 milliliters. So just imagine the upside, that there's a huge potential, growth possibilities are there. The state controls beverage alcohol in every respect, and the market characterization for distribution also gets then defined. In some states, there are auctions. So the state will auction a state or a part of the state to trader, and they will do trading there on a monopolistic basis. Some of the markets are free, like consumer products, and if you have a license, you can trade, you can wholesale, and you can retail. In some of the markets, the government is not the producer, but they are the wholesaler, they are the retailer, so they make trade margin, and the cluster shows you which are the state government markets, which are the free markets, which are auction markets, and which are the markets where both the systems sort of coexist. In the marketplace, the segmentation of various products is on premium, standard, and values for Scotch, for Indian whiskies. Then likewise in other spirits, brandy, rum, gin, and vodka, you have premium and first line, second line, third line. Basically, it's a price pyramid. In the beers also, you have mild and strong, and these are some of our brands which sort of will jog your memory if you are alcohol consumer. You have strong beers, which is about 8% alcohol. You have mild beers, which are about 5%, and I don't think India makes 3.5%. 4.5% is the mild beer category. And then, of course, you have wines, which have around 12 to 15% alcohol. The Indian spirits and wine beer industry price segment will give you an idea. A Scotch bottle, 750 ml bottle, which is equal to 14 pegs, is 800 rupees upwards, and I'm giving you an average price as exists in the country. The most expensive brand, of course, goes in lakhs of rupees because there are only few bottles. But in India, between 1,000 rupees to 10,000 rupees, you can get a bottle of Scotch. A 10,000 rupee will be a 21-year-old or a 25-year-old Scotch. And as far as the Indian whiskies are concerned, the price range is from 100 to 150 rupees to somewhere between 600 to 700 rupees which is equivalent to about $15. Yeah. Likewise, brandy, gin, rum, vodka, the price range is in front of you. Wines are between 3 to 600, 3 to 400 or 3 to 600, I think that's the right figure, not 400. And sparkling wines are available between 1500 to 2000. Beers are in the range of 75 to 100. These are the street prices. UB has built some great brands over the years, and Bagpiper, for example, and I remember when the bottle and the label was designed about a quarter of a century before. You know, it has really taken the country by storm. It is the leading brand globally in terms of non-Scotch whiskey. Black Dog of UB is a 12-year-old, is the largest selling Scotch, which comes from Scotland. It gets bottled here. And likewise, we have got beers which are fastest growing. Kingfisher strong beer is the leader in the market, so is the mild beer. And we have just launched Four Seasons wines, which are expected to do very well in the future. I think we are number 2 at the moment. What have been the socio-economic and consumer trends for the beverage alcohol industry? I just thought I'll give you an overview of that. Dr. Batra talked of, and I think Mr. Satya also talked of the demographic window, which is a good opportunity for all businesses. We are just about entering into that, and I think Dr. Batra mentioned European countries are aging countries. So India has an upside as far as the emerging consumer base is concerned. So this is one trend which is in favor of not only alcohol but other industries as well, but we are looking from our lens. From our perspective, yes, there's an upside, because you're getting lots of young consumers who will start off either with rum or with beer and then graduate to more premium products. Indian middle class is increasing and is expected to be around 600 million people by 2025. So a lot of increase there. India is poised, because of all of these reasons, to become the second largest beverage alcohol consuming country after China. And amongst the BRIC nations, and now I think a S is missing because South Africa has joined as well, the growth of India, economic growth of India is going to be robust, between 7.5% to 9% depending on what happens all over the world. So there are strong economic growth possibilities as well. On the consumer side, Indians are very brand conscious. They would like to buy the best which is available. They know what is a good brand and what's not a good brand, and if they got disposable money, they will go for it. They want to spend a lot of money. There are 10 million credit cards, so if you don't have money in your bank, you can still go and buy. So consumerism is coming up. Consumers are aware of what they want to buy, as I said. They would like to have an iPad and the best of what is available in the marketplace. So the Indian consumer is really evolving. They are discerning as well. They would only buy what will make economic sense, which is but natural. And the young ladies are shedding lots of inhibitions. They don't feel shy of taking white wine or red wine or a white beverage alcohol, and some are even starting to enjoy whiskey. So, you know, this is the sort of evolution of, these are the evolutionary aspects of the Indian consumer. Indian youth is having a lot of disposable income and is looking for trendy and cool products. I have still not understood what does cool mean, but whatever it means, it has to be used in its context. My children keep on saying cool, but I don't understand what it means. Increasing social acceptance of alcohol. If you go to somebody's house, I remember I had never seen alcohol in our household when I was a kid. But now, if you go to somebody's house, if somebody offers you a beverage alcohol, in fact, it is expected in a middle class house that you'll